So we did like $3 million first year from November to December, and then I was like, okay, that's when I finally was like, Dad, I'm dropping out of college. Like we're making like over 10K a month right now, easy. Like if you average it out through the year, I probably made like 100, 200K, or no, it's like 200K that year profits. And so then I was like, all right, I'm never gonna make this with a job, so I'm leaving now.
Okay, Zach, it's great to have you here, bro.
Thanks,
Appreciate you
bro.
coming on. And we're gonna have a very, very interesting episode today. I know we met last year. We didn't talk that much last year, but
Yeah,
we've probably had some touch points here or there. What I find really, really interesting about you, bro, is that I would say you have some solid financial success, right?
yeah,
To me, you don't seem or feel like someone that's like obsessed with money, because I've met a lot of people that make a lot, but they're like money obsessed, and that's the only thing they care about.
yeah.
Why is that?
Um, I think there's more to life than money. I think money is just like a tool to like get certain things. But I do think I like money. Like obviously I'm in business like optimized to make as not as much money as possible, but like to make enough money to where I can do stuff that I want to. And so yeah, and I think I'm not obsessed, but like I like money obviously.
Sure.
Otherwise, yeah.
So it's important to you, but it doesn't necessarily make up like your whole life, essentially.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
To build the company that you've built, right? It does take a lot of drive, and you need to have a certain vision for it as well.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Where do you feel like that came from? Does that come from your childhood or?
For me, the drive came from pain. Like I just had so much pain from like once I got to college. So I was like 19. I got to college and I would wake up and like every single hour of the day I would have a headache and I had no idea why. I was just like it started off like I would get a headache every couple hours, or maybe like 1, 2 hours a day, and then just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Until like right when I got to college, I was having headaches like every single waking hour while trying to study, while everyone else is partying. Like you can't really drink because it makes the headaches way worse. And like that was probably like the main thing that I just like couldn't uh like that was the main drive to start business. Obviously there was other drives like childhood stuff, but like the main drive to start a business and to like get into the entrepreneur space, get out of the like 9 to 5 like rat race and everything was that like literally just I I knew I like had to solve this, like find a good doctor. I started going to neurologists. They all were like, I don't know if this is solvable. Like you might just have this forever, but we can take medicine, like prescriptions. And I was like, oh, this doesn't sound right. So I just kept looking and looking and looking. After like it took 3 years, but we finally found like a good neurologist, and it's like back, like much better now. Very little headaches at this point, but yeah, I think that was the main drive. And then I wanted to like work on my own. Like if I was gonna have to like deal with the headaches and my health conditions and stuff, I needed to like not like be forced to show up to class at a specific time. Like I want to like if my head's feeling good, I want to be able to like lock in and work like during that time, not like be forced to do anything else. So that was like pretty much the main like motivation, which is super random and like unique to me, but yeah, I think it was just like pain,
But it was actually like physical pain.
physical pain, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so that started when you were in college, you said,
Yeah.
and it took you 3 years to get rid of it.
It's not gone. We're still
Oh, you
working
still
on
have
it.
it?
Yeah, I still have it. Like, if I, you like on the day to day, if I take perfect care of myself, perfect health, like don't drink, no caffeine, nothing that'll affect like blood flow, I'm good. But like, obviously, I'm not gonna like sleep perfectly like on these trips. Like, it makes it like to where like I'll get a headache maybe like once a week, twice a week max. So it's like, it's much, much better.
Is it like intense headaches though, or like
It used to be.
tolerable?
Now it's like tolerable. Well, with Advil, it's tolerable. Yeah,
And that's medicine, right?
tolerable. Uh, like ibuprofen, like yeah, it's like pain medication. Yeah,
Okay. And so the motivation was really for you to just have the freedom to work whenever you want, so you don't have to force yourself to go somewhere when you actually can't because of the headache.
exactly. Oh, and I also thought it was gonna take like a lot of money to solve because it seemed like none of the doctors knew what they were talking about. And so I was like, ah, maybe I need more money, so that also is motivation. But I always wanted to like make more money and to be able to like buy things that I wanted. So
Do you feel like that's true? That you will be able to solve it with more money?
oh, I think it's already solved. It's just like it ended up being a neck injury. So it was like because of high school basketball, I fell on my neck, I got a concussion, or I think I didn't get tested. I think I got a concussion, pretended that nothing happened, and I was all good, and I had slept. And then but in that process I like slammed my head on the floor, and so I like tweaked my neck muscle. And so when I was working with my current neurologist, it's actually Brian Johnson's neurologist, like the guy's trying to live forever, like don't, you know, the
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
die
yeah.
guy, yeah, yeah. And so he's like insane, like probably one of the best neurologists in the world, I would guess. And we just did a bunch of tests, and it led back to like, okay, I have a video of the fall. He's like, yeah, it's most likely that. So let's test with these exercises. We tested the exercises, and my neck was just so weak. And so the rehab is just like re-strengthening that, because when it's like soft, the muscle's like uh, weak, then it compresses against the vein, which then blocks the blood flow to the brain and then causes the headache. So yeah, anyways, it's back on track, and it should be gone in like 6 months.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a very interesting motivation for getting into business, actually.
Yeah, it's random.
Okay. So that's how you kind of started. And I know we had a conversation shortly about this yesterday as well. You want to buy a basketball team?
Yeah. Well, that's just like the only thing that like is very that like would it's the only thing that's like very interesting. Like I don't care about the yacht, I don't care about the car, but like owning a basketball team would be so it would be fun, cool thing to like my brothers are all into basketball, like cool thing to get them involved in the business somehow. And yeah, I mean it'd just be sick, I think.
That's
So,
amazing, bro. Do you feel like it's always been like that, that you don't necessarily care much about like cars, watch, whatever, the materialistic stuff?
um yeah. Well, it's more just that you can just rent the yacht, you can rent the car. Like, I don't need to own that type of stuff, but I also don't care that much about it. But like, I still will use it. Like, I'll still buy the watch.
So it's a thing of you want to have the opportunity to get it if you want to, but you're not attached to it at all.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But do you feel like you've always had that, or did you develop that through making money?
Um, no, I think I've always had that. Like, I never cared that much about, like, I mean, I never even thought it was possible, to be honest. Like, when we were kids, like, I just thought I thought $1 million was crazy. Like my dad, like the fact that like he was like technically like a millionaire by like 50 or whatever. I thought that was like, I was like, that was my goal. Like, I'll just be like my dad. I'll take like 30 years, 9 to 5, and just like get there eventually. And I thought that was like, I thought entrepreneur, like not possible. Like that's only for people who get like lucky on Shark Tank with some idea, or like they have like a parent connection, or like I don't know. I just thought it wasn't something I could ever, I never thought it was something I would ever do, or that it was even an option. Like I just thought it was like like I was just told too risky, like almost impossible. You have to get really lucky or have connections. And then so I was just like, I'm going to just make as much money through job. And so I was like, all right, investment bankers make decent money. I'll try that. And so that was like my goal. I was like gonna try and get into investment banking, and then everything just like changed after college. And then that dream, thankfully, I did not pursue that because it seems awful. Like 12 hours a day just grinding on spreadsheets doesn't seem too fun anymore. But yeah,
I mean, compared to what you're doing now, obviously, that
yeah, it's
wouldn't be a
much
good
better.
option.
Yeah.
Okay, so back in the days, you thought $1 million was a lot. How much money do you spend on ads per month right now?
Like a million.
That was what I was trying to get to, bro.
On average. Like Q4, obviously, it's like we spend all the money. So it's like 90% of revenue is Q4. So we'll spend like 4 million, or let's say like, actually, it's more like 6 million November, like 3 million December, and then like a million. That was last year, spread out throughout the year. This year, something similar to that.
Okay, so it's because of Christmas, I assume, right? Because
Yeah,
obviously you run a board game company, just for everybody
yeah,
watching. So, no, that makes sense. Interesting. There's a couple of things I want to dive into there. So, you said that back in the days you didn't really think any of this was possible.
yeah.
So, I assume you grew up in a normal family, like middle class?
Uh, like upper middle class. Like I wouldn't say like crazy. We kind of just got. My dad moved to a city in California that ended up just getting more and more valuable. So the house like just went up and up.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I'd say like upper middle class.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay, that
it's
makes
still a
sense.
nice area. We were fine. We were
Nice.
good. Yeah.
When you grow up in that environment, obviously it's nothing like there's a lot of wealth around you. And you just
Yeah.
said you never really thought it was possible. I'm a fundamental believer that if you want to achieve something, you have to become the person first. You have to kind of adopt the
Yeah.
identity, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you shift your beliefs from not even thinking it's possible to being able to spend $1 million a month on ads, and that's like
Mm.
your average month in life right now?
I think it's just surrounding yourself with, when I say surrounding though, I feel like that's the one thing like people miss is like they think it's like, oh, surround yourself with people like in person.
Mhm.
But like I don't think you need to know anyone in like you could have no actual physical network and just surround yourself with proper like YouTubers, just like in mentors or whatever online and still be fine. I think it's just like seeing Alex Hormozy scaling to like hundreds of millions of dollars at like 30, which some people, I mean, there's like a kid I just found out about that's 23 making like has a $700 million a year revenue business. It's gonna be in Monaco after this. So like there's levels, but like seeing Hormozy at hundreds of millions, it's like, all right, well like $1 million in ad spend is nothing. Like Hormozy would laugh at our ad spend, and it's just like there's just so much people online. There's so much like influence nowadays that it's very easy to like see that there's a lot more possible than just like what you thought before.
How do you personally think about money, would you say?
Um, I think it's a tool. I think it's like a tool to get to live the life you want, but yeah, I think it can be used bad, but it also can be used very well, like to improve your life, to help others and stuff like that. So
So it's a tool. Interesting.
yeah.
I've heard this before. You've for sure heard this as well. There's a saying. It's like time is money. Would you agree with that statement?
Um, no, I think money can buy time though. Like I think you can use your money to buy more time, but I don't really think time. It depends how you look. Like time is money in terms of like 9 to 5. Like I work for $20 an hour, but like I don't know. I feel like looking at it that way can be uh negative. Like it could be inhibiting to like look at time as money,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It depends on how you like view it.
I mean, it makes sense. I had a talk about this yesterday with Josh as well, who was on the other podcast episode,
Oh, okay.
and we were talking about this as well. Like fundamentally speaking, time is time and money is money. Like
Yeah.
money is just it's a piece of paper. Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
be attached to it. I
Yeah.
feel like. So I always find that very interesting to see how entrepreneurs, especially when they're more successful, think about finances and money as a whole.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your origin story a bit, bro. So the actual origin story of your company, to say. You obviously run a board game company.
Yeah.
I assume, because pretty much every entrepreneur does this, you kind of slipped into it like on accident, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So I was in college, needed to find a business. Was like, all right, I'll start an. Or I saw this guy, Jason Capital, online, and he was like, oh, you can make 3 to 5K a month just typing simple messages on social media. It was such a good pitch. And I was like, shit, I think I'm just gonna like, he's like, I have 2 to 3 spots left, as if like you're gonna work for him. And so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I can work for this guy, make 3 to 5K a month, and maybe I can convince my dad I'll drop out of college and just do business full time. So I like message him, whatever. It's like DM me, whatever, some word, freedom or some shit like that. And then you DM him freedom, and then he goes, all right, so it's like this course actually, it's $1,000. Like I'm gonna teach you how to make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, typing simple messages. You join it, it ends up just being SMMA. Like he was just pitching SMMA, but it was a very good like way to get you in. And so I ended up just falling. I didn't know what any of this was. I had no intro to business. This is like my first introduction to like proper like online business.
Mhm.
So this is during COVID. So it's SMMA. I was like, all right, I'll target gyms. COVID hits, no more gyms. So now let's target e-com businesses. So I'm targeting e-com businesses. The only client I get is a drop shipper, and this drop shipper goes like, yes, I didn't know what drop shipping was. He goes like, so I basically don't have any, because I was like, how much can we scale? Like, how much inventory do you have? Like, because I was going to do the marketing for him. And it was really just white labeled marketing that we were just white labeling some other marketing agency service. It was not the best idea, but so we're using that. And then he's like, yeah, actually, like, don't own any products. I just like, once they order it, I'm going to ship it from the manufacturer. And then I was like, huh, that's interesting. But like, why am I gonna market for this guy if he has no value, he just has one connection with the supplier and that's literally it. So I was like, okay, let me like look into this drop shipping concept. Took a Ty Lopez course, got into drop shipping, just quit the SMMA and just decided to just go all in on drop shipping. And so I was drop shipping, testing a bunch of random products. It was COVID, so I just like dog products, all this random stuff. They all were like kind of well or had ad issues. And then I just tested a board game, and that just like took off because everyone was locked at home in the US, nothing to do. And the board game just was like the perfect product market fit at that time. And so like it just like scaled really quickly. Like after 2, 3 months, I mean, it wasn't crazy numbers, like maybe like 50, 100K a month, but for me that was like
Was that
insane.
profit?
Revenue. So
And
this
what
is
were
like
the margins
March.
like?
So this is like March, or it's like March to like maybe like June. And so I'm
Mhm.
like scaling over 3 months. First like 3 months in drop shipping, and it's just like scaling like 100K months, 50, 100K months, whatever. Probably low margins, like 20%, 10%.
I mean,
Not
still,
horrible.
say it's 10%, right? You essentially within 3 months, like from zero, like literally
Yeah,
starting out, went from zero to like whatever that is, 10K, 20K a month in
yeah.
profit.
Yeah, like let's say 10K a month. And then it just like died. It was like July, August, like summer times. People like the COVID hype kind of, or the COVID like stay at home, like find stuff to do hype died. And then I was like, shit, maybe this isn't gonna last. And so I started finding new products. And then I just decided I couldn't really find anything. We were struggling, and then just decided to retest it in like September, October time as it got closer to the holidays. I think it was October, and then it just took off again. It started working. October was like a 2 ROAS or whatever, and then November hits and it's like starting to get to like 2.5, 2.7, and I just like scaled. So we did like $3 million first year from November to December, and then I was like, okay, that's when I finally was like, Dad, I'm dropping out of college. Like we're making like over 10K a month right now, easy. Like if you average it out through I probably made like 100, 200K, or no, it's like 200K that year, profits. And so then I was like, all right, I'm never gonna make this with a job, so I'm leaving now. And he wasn't happy, to be honest, but
Really? So you were making 10, 20K a month profit, and he was
yeah.
like, no, you're
No, he's
staying in
like, it's not
college.
gonna last. He's
Ah,
like,
okay.
this isn't gonna last. Like, you got lucky or whatever. I mean, he didn't say that, but he's like, it's too short term to like make a decision. Like, you should stay in at least another year. Or he basically was like, you started college, finish it. Like, he had this whole like
Mm.
Draymond Green quote. Like, his mom, like, he went to Michigan State. He like had this terrible situation. Like, coach wasn't playing him or whatever, and it was like a sophomore year or whatever, and his mom was like, you make your bed, you're gonna lay in it. And he just kept using that quote over and over and over again. And I was like, all right, but like this is not the same situation. Like that was like basketball, he wanted to play professionally, like he's gonna do that. like my business is working, I want to do this, so I'm gonna drop out. And now he hates college. Like he agrees with everything I say. Like he's like completely changed his mind. But back then it was just like I went to college. Everyone in our town's kids are going to college. Like it's just like that just wasn't an option in his mind that like you could start a business and that it was gonna last and that you could like make that amount of money that quickly and it not be like a scam or like a short-term thing.
That makes a lot of sense. Did your relationship with your dad or your parents suffer from that short term, or was it all good still?
Short term, I had a little hate because like I don't know, I just felt that like I understood why he wasn't for it. He just pushed so hard, like he would try all these, like he'd be like, "Oh, my friend from work said this." He just tries so hard to convince me to stay in college that like I felt that like he just didn't believe in me, I guess. So there was like a little bit of hate, but but now not at all. We have a good relationship. Everything's good. He's like very proud, respects everything we're doing. But back then it's just a hard transition when they're so like focused like mentally on like everyone in their family went to college. It's just like the path, and it's hard to like rewire your brain to realize like we live in like 2020 now, like the 2020s, and like anyone can make money online. And yeah, I think that was just like it was just like maybe 6 months. The relationship was not the best, but everything's good now.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting thing because you still decided to take the risk even though everybody around you told you don't do it.
Yeah.
Would you say that being willing and able to take the risk, not only in that situation, but more often in business, has led to your success? Because I'm a true believer in that. I'm a true believer in the fact that risk is a huge portion of what you need to see success in
Yeah.
business. What would you say to that?
Um, I think in business you get rewarded based on the amount of risk tolerance. Like, I mean, like Elon Musk, for example, it's like I'm gonna start an electric car company, and like the risk on that, I'm gonna put all my money into fucking SpaceX and my electric car company, and see. Well, I don't know. It might not have been SpaceX. I don't know, but I know he had like 100 million from PayPal. He exited, and he just went all in on his next businesses. Is either Solar City or SpaceX. But anyways, he goes all in, and Tesla, like an electric car company, no one had made that profitable, but he goes in as like, yeah, there's a lot of risk, but like, what else am I gonna do with this money? Like, he's just like, I'm just gonna go all in. This sounds cool. Like, let's do it. And so like that, obviously, that's why he became like the richest person in the world. He was willing to take the most risk. So I think risk tolerance is super key, but it also depends on your goals. Like some people just want to make 10K a month, and so for them, it might not make sense to take that much risk. You know, I just want to just start an agency and scale it to 10, 20K a month, have financial freedom, travel wherever you want and stuff like that. But I think risk tolerance just whoever takes the most risk has the potential to make. Obviously, it could go wrong, but like has the potential to make the most money. And so it's just like that's how I look at it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you say that you have learned to be able to take those risks, or did you have that
I
intrinsically?
actually don't think I take that much risk.
Really?
Yeah, I think drop shipping, like I needed like $1,000. If I made it work probably off like $300 because it was like you run the ad, like everything was like almost break even. It's like you run the ads, you test it, it'll kind of work, you'll get a few sales, make a little bit of money back, and then maybe you lose like $100 testing a product. And then you get a new product that makes like $500 and doesn't scale or whatever. But like there wasn't the worst case I would have lost $1,000 on the course, another $1,000 on the other course. I would have lost like $4,000 to start my business. And so like I don't think there's much risk in that. I just chose a business model that was super low risk, but also had the potential for high reward. And so now I think the risk tolerance is a little, I think I take more risk. Like we'll spend like I think we'll order like $5 million in inventory this year, and I'm just like fine with that, I guess. I could be I could have less tolerance and just like be like, all right, we'll just not scale that much this year. We're just gonna chill, like continue making a few $1 million a year or whatever, and just like chill. But like for me, I want to keep scaling, so I know I have to take that risk. But I don't think it's that risky. Like we know the game works. It would be very unlikely that like the inventory we can't sell through or like stuff goes wrong. Because I'm pretty like conservative. Like we run on like 2-3% OpEx, which is insane. Like most ecom brands, it's like 10-15%. OpEx being uh, like people costs, pretty much people software costs. And so, yeah, I think I run with I try and keep it as low risk as possible, like very little SKUs, super lean OpEx. If something goes wrong, I don't really need to fire anyone because we're barely spending any money there anyways. And then, yeah,
Okay. I mean, obviously, in that case, you keep pushing.
yeah.
Why?
Um, I think it's just because why not? Like there's just like you only like it's you get one or I think we get one life like here on Earth for what we know, and like why would you not want to reach your full potential is how I look at it. I kind of see like at least for now, like the purpose of life just to like reach your full potential. And if I'm like, what would I do instead? Just like sit and chill and sleep more. I don't know. I like work too. Like it's fun. It's like a challenge. It's like a sports. It's like basketball. Like you just want to be the best you can be. Obviously, it can become toxic. Like if you're trying to be the richest man in the world, like obviously there's consequences to that. But I think as long as you look at it as like you just want to be the best that you can be, it's pretty a healthy motivation.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Obviously, you played basketball because your
yeah.
dad probably as well tried to become professional, I assume.
My dad actually played professional tennis, which is interesting. Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
But in that case, sports is kind of running in the family a lot, right?
yeah. My mom played basketball like at USC, so it
That's
was the
crazy.
thing. Yeah, yeah,
Do you feel like, because I've had business partners before that have been, for example, professional football players and stuff.
yeah,
And I always felt like people that were in professional sports, I mean, look at David sitting there, he was also professionally playing basketball.
yeah,
They're always like, they find it a bit easier to succeed in business because they
yeah.
have that drive.
I think it's because you've developed the skill sets. Like it's like you have the work ethic. You know, like you know how hard it is. Like basketball is like the one of the hardest sports, especially in the States. If you're trying to like make the NBA, it's like so like the chance is like 0.001% or whatever. That you just have those skill sets that you don't get from like just being in high school, like fucking around, not playing sports, just playing video games all day, different skill sets. Sometimes the video games actually develop skill sets, but I don't. Yeah, you just like I just find that people that are into sports like work harder for some reason, and you just like have that skill that like okay, maybe painful now. It also is like I guess patience or like delayed gratification. Like I'm gonna work hard now for the rewards later. Like it might be painful to like initially when I was starting the business, I was working every single, like almost every hour between like podcasts, learning, and then actual work. So it's like, all right, this like isn't probably the most fun thing to have no social life, cut out all your friends and all this stuff. But like, you know that like if you put in the work now, you'll see that reward later. And so I think that's probably like a skill that develop. Athletes that like care and like really want to get are dedicated and want to play professionally. I think you just develop that early on, and so it just leads and translates to business success.
Okay, that's interesting. So it kind of does set you up for success a bit, would you say?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that makes sense. I have a question for you because I always find this very interesting. There's so many people doing e-commerce and
Yeah.
trying to do dropshipping, whatever that may be. Why do you feel like you found a lot more success than most of the people in the actual industry? Like, what made that difference, do you feel like?
Well, first, I think I got lucky. Second, I think I tried more products than most people. And I think I approached it I think I just approached business properly. Like I was learning half the time and working half the time. Like some people will just like grind all day, like no learning, like no podcasts, no nothing, and they think the just harder they work, the more they're gonna get, more output they're gonna get. Some people will literally just read for 30 days and like not do any work, thinking like, oh, I'm like being productive because I just learned, I listen to all these podcasts, YouTube videos, and they take no action. So I think it was just the balance between learning and action, which I was kind of forced to do because I'd have a headache and I'd need to take a break. So I'd go and like listen to a podcast on like the lounge chair outside and just like chill for a little bit. And so, yeah, I think it was those three things. Most people just don't test enough products is the main thing. Like if you're testing two products, you're like, I'm usually like one for like 10 or one for 15 on products. So if you're testing five products, it's like obviously it didn't work because you didn't know volume like you need to like test products. So
Okay. You said that you think you got lucky.
yeah,
How big was the role of luck, would you say, in what you've built so far?
I think luck plays into everything. Like if I didn't test the board, like if I didn't happen to see an ad of some board game and then be like, oh, they're running this, and because what happened was I'd go through ad spies. So there's like ad spy, drop a spy. There's a bunch of like little softwares where you can see Facebook ads, you can see the engagement, and you can see like, okay, if they got like 3,000 likes on this video, it's probably doing well. So I just happened to see the board game. It was doing well in some other country. And I just decided to copy it and sell it in the US pretty much. And so that is luck. I just like happened to find the board game at the exact right time during COVID, and then just ended up sticking with board games till now. It was a different game back then, but yeah, I don't know. Like I think you can create the luck. Like the more work you put in, the more products you test, you can create that luck. But it obviously is like luck, and it may have taken 50 products. But I think if you tested 50 ecom products, you'd probably either learn enough to then find one on the next 10 you test, or in that 50, you'd for sure. I find it very unlikely like you wouldn't find one product that at least scales decently well.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, it's just really like yes, luck plays a role, but you can create it by just doing more volume. That's
Yeah,
kind of what you're
I think
saying.
it's the hormozy, like volume negates luck. So yeah.
For sure. Okay, that's very interesting. How did that transition go? So you obviously in the beginning you did drop shipping, and now you're building like your own brand pretty much for the company, and you're also expanding into other board games as well now and testing those, I think.
Yeah, so we have the one main game, the Uzzle, which does like 90% of revenue still. Now we have like 9 game designers, all kind of like in Seattle. I just built a big like game design team to try and find that like next game.
Mhm.
And so for now, we've tested like 5, 6, or we tested like 8 new games. None of them have really taken off. There's a few that are like all doing all right, but nothing near the Uzzle. And so we're just trying to like this year we have like 12 to 15 new games launching. So we're just trying to find that next game to like really help us like scale to the next level.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Well, so you built that team. How many employees do you have right now?
So we have like the game design team is pretty much like all the like main employees. So it's like you have 9 game designers or like graphic designers that focus on board games in Seattle. They all kind of like work not there's no office, but they all like kind of get together in person at other people's houses and stuff because it kind of has to be in person. Like when you're designing a game, like to have people scattered all out throughout the world on Zoom calls, it's not that easy. So yeah, they're all there. So that's like 9. That's like the main team. They're just focused on product. That's the most important thing for me right now to like get new products. And I think that's the only thing that separates like ecom. Like it's like marketing and product, and like the better your product is, the easier the marketing is. So for now, we're investing a bunch. Like we have like $1 million payroll on like game designers right now, pretty much. And so
Per
like that's
year?
a bit, yeah. So that's like a big investment we're making. And then the rest, it's like I have a supply chain manager. I guess like an he's more like a head of operations. I have like 2 assistants, and so we basically have like 16 employees. We have some like agencies, and yeah.
Do you feel like you find it easy to hire the right people and manage them, or was that a skill set that you did find challenging when you were starting out with it?
No, it's definitely hard. Like, it took me 2 supply chain managers to find the current guy that we have, who's really good. Like I tried in the U.S. The current one we actually have is in the Philippines, and so it's like more affordable than the U.S., but he's also like much better. And I think it just hiring's a skill. Like you have to try and you have to fail. You have to have the bad experiences, and it sucks. Like hiring someone in the U.S. and then having to fire or like let them go was so hard, especially for me when it's like I hired someone that was like 40, like he's like full like family, like has a full family and all these things, and like I'm promising him a job at our company, and then to like take that away was like pretty hard, like pretty hard. He was unemployed at the time, so it wasn't like I like stole him from a job and he lost it, but like it definitely is hard. Like when I'm 22, 23 at the time, he's like 40. It's a weird dynamic where it's like you're like letting him go. I don't know. It was definitely like I did not like that experience having to like tell him like, yeah, this isn't gonna work out because was too he just wasn't the right fit for the company. There's just a lack of focus and a lot of issues. So it's hard. Hiring's like the most important thing I think for sure. Like the people are the business, and so like it's a very important skill. But I don't think I'm the best at hiring. Like I need to get way better. But for now, it's worked. Like we've been able to find the right people through trial and error. But yeah, I think it's definitely a skill that we need to keep working on.
For sure. You said hiring is maybe not the main skill that you're best at, and you have to keep working on it. What
Yeah.
do you feel like is like the number one skill you have that you've been able to implement in your company and leverage to see success?
Um, I don't know actually. Like I would say marketing, but I'm not the best marketer. Like I'm good at like finding the best marketer because I understand it, but I just like don't have enough time during the day to get insanely good at like Facebook ads, for example, anymore because it just changes so quickly. So like marketing, I'm good at identifying. I think the best thing honestly is just I'm just really good at like keeping costs. Like I'm just very like frugal, like need to keep costs low. And I think that's kind of what separates is like I understand the finances, like how much money we're spending on certain things, how to like we're always negotiating down on costs. We're always operating as lean as possible. I'd say that's probably what's helped the most out of my like skill set is just like the frugality, I guess. I think it was just like I think my grandpa was just so frugal with money that I could just like he's transferred that skill over, and I think it translated like really well in business.
Interesting. It's very interesting, bro, because most people also here, like you probably know it, most
Yeah,
people are like, why spend less if you can make more? So
yeah,
I rarely talk to people that make money and say, yeah, I'm very frugal and I'm good at that. That's very
yeah.
interesting.
And I'm not that frugal with like experiences and like lifestyle stuff. Like I don't like I think it's a balance. Like when it's like you're making $1 million a year and you like don't want to spend like $4 at a Starbucks coffee and you're like mentally like worried about it. Like that's very like unhealthy, I think. But like business wise, I'm very frugal. Personal, not as much.
Yeah.
Like I'll still drop 20K on a trip or something and it's like fine. But like business, I want to make sure we're running as lean as possible without obviously you have to invest, you have to like scale, but like very always negotiating down on prices with partners.
Where do you feel like you want to be in 10 years, 20 years down the line?
Um, for now, my vision is just we're gonna scale Uzzle as far as I possibly can with my skill set, and if I think I'll just keep trying to. I don't know. Everyone always says like I don't know if I'm gonna be if I have the skills to be run a $1 billion company like CEO. Like I think maybe I'll cap out here, but I feel like I'll just force myself to develop and just continue to scale, and kind of the goal is just to see if we can get Uzzle to like $1 billion plus in revenue, because there is toy companies that have gotten that big, but we'll see how it goes. For now, like no plans to exit. I just want to continue to scale as far as possible, and then maybe we see a bigger opportunity, sell and move on to that. But for now, I think it's a good opportunity, so we're gonna focus on that.
That makes sense. So that's obviously business-wise. What would you say personal-wise? What do you want to be? Do you want to have a family or what's that?
In 10 years, I'll be like 34. Yeah, I definitely want to be like ideally like married and starting to look at like having a family around 35-ish. But I don't know. I don't really think that far out. Like I want to be married before like 35 and ideally kids before at like around that time. So it is far out though. I don't really think that far out sometimes.
Do you feel like that's a good skill set to have to be focused on the short term?
Um, no, I just think like 10 plus years is like pretty long term. Like
That's
I
true.
think like 3 to 5 years out, and I feel like that's pretty healthy. Like short term, like this year, to be focused only on the short term obviously is unhealthy. Like you want to be thinking long term, but I feel like I have a balance of both.
That's good, bro. That's amazing. Okay. Do you have like a specific number in your head that you want to hit, and then thereafter you're like, I'll never make money or do business ever again? Or is it just you're going with the flow?
Nah, I like it. I feel like it's like a game. So, I mean, like, I want to get to 1 billion, obviously, but like, I'm not gonna quit after that. Like, it's not like I'm just gonna go and sit and retire after that. I think, I'd like, it's like Warren Buffett. He made like, I don't know what he's worth, 200 billion or whatever, and he's giving away money, so it's probably would be worth more. But he's still doing. He's like, I don't know what he is, like 90 something. Charlie Munger was like 98, 99 before he died, still working. It's like, honestly, I think life would be worse without the business and without like something to do every day that you like enjoy. So I don't think I'd ever like stop.
From everything you're saying, bro, it feels like the enjoyment part is very important to you, right? That you just
Yeah.
like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Did you like teach yourself to enjoy and like the work?
Um, I mean, I don't really like board games that much. I don't like, uh, obviously like business can be hard, but I think you just like it. I think it's developed. I don't think I like, actually, I've always liked making money. Like I was like running like reselling sneakers, reselling Supreme stuff. And so I guess I've always just liked the sports of like buying and like like making money like, and so yeah, I think I think all business also becomes the same at the end, like at scale. Like most every business is like you have a marketing department and operations, finance, like it's all ends up being the same at the highest levels. So I'm not as worried about like what I'm working on in terms of like just like the actual like business, just like scaling the business is like enjoyable, I guess.
It's interesting. I mean, we spoke about this before. You said you were working like 5 hours a day on the laptop.
Um, like you mean now or before?
I mean, before you said you were locked in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Before I was like locked in, like not on the laptop, but probably like 6 hours laptop, like 6 hours podcast reading, like courses, just learn. Because in the beginning you don't know anything, so like the learning aspect's like very important that you like go learn everything about your industry. There's just so much to learn. Now it's like there's a lot less business stuff to learn. Like you kind of like after like 3 years of like listening to podcasts all the time, you know most things. Like it's very hard to like find like there's not that many like new ideas or concepts that aren't like related to previous stuff you've learned. And so now I don't learn as much, but yeah, I'd say I work like 3 hours a day, like actual work, 3, 4 hours right now. During Q4, though, like, cause right now it's chill. Like, it's like we don't do that much revenue right now. It's not as like we could not. I could just quit and not run the business for 9 months, and then just lock in October, November, December, and be completely fine. Cause that's where all our revenue comes from, like 90%. So like October, November, December, I'm in Puerto Rico, like at home, like no distractions, focus, like making sure everything goes, because there's so much risk. Like if I mess that up, I'm screwing around on some vacation, like then the business actually could go under. And so that period, it's like 12, like all day long, I'm working, focused, like answering call, like ready if anything goes wrong, especially like Black Friday. Um, but yeah, now it's like chill. Like we don't do that much revenue. If we mess up, it's not that big of a deal. So it's not as much work. But it's like preparing. We're preparing for Q4. It's just it's not that I need to work too much. Also, the assistant though. The assistant's such a hack. Once you have an assistant for like a year, it gets to a point where she's supposed to learn everything so well that like it's literally just like now it's just I message her and she like handles almost like everything business wise except like the really important decisions or like marketing stuff is not as much. Like I'd like to be involved in the marketing more, but yes, assistant definitely helps with that.
Interesting. So you had that assistant for like a year now, or a bit longer?
Yeah, yeah, it's she's in the Philippines also, so it's like an online. I have an in-person assistant also in Puerto Rico, but that's just like personal stuff. The business one is the one that's been like the most helpful. The
Interesting.
in-person one's helpful though too, like, cause she'll like cook food, like it just saves so much. Cause that's also, it's like you waste so much time. Like most entrepreneurs, like, I mean, they'll DoorDash maybe, but if you want to like eat healthy, you got to cook your own food. You've got to like do your laundry, like just there's just like stuff that you could save like an hour or two a day by just having an in-person assistant. I feel like that's also a hack, which I guess is the time is money aspect. Like you can buy some time back, I guess.
Okay, interesting. A personal assistant. That's an interesting concept. I've never really talked much about that before.
Yeah.
You obviously made the move out to Puerto Rico. Where exactly in the States did you come from? Where did you live before?
I was in California, was paying like 50% in tax, and then I was like, I need to get out of this state. And then yeah, just my dad's boss actually moved to Puerto Rico like a few years before. He seemed to like it. Was like we talked to him about it, and yeah, it was like 4% tax versus 50% in California, and you get to live on the beach. So I was like, all right,
That's an easy
well,
decision to make
we'll
right
move
there.
over. Yeah, and I had a friend that wanted to move too, so yeah, it worked. I didn't have to move by myself. I had a friend, and 4% versus 50. It was a pretty easy decision to be honest.
Do you have a house there or an apartment?
So I've been staying in apartments, but because of the Act 60, like personal Act 60 thing, which is like the tax act that got the Americans to incentivize to move to Puerto Rico, that actually forces you to buy a house. That's if you want. You don't have to. So you could just stick with the business, pay 4%, 0% tax on dividends. So you just pay 4%. You can take out all the money personally. Just pay yourself a small, like 40K a year salary, and then you can just do that. But if you want the zero capital gains, like if you want to sell the company and pay no tax on that, then you have to buy a house. So now like my 2 years is up, and so I like have to buy a house now. And so yeah, I guess we're buying a house. I did not want to buy a house, but we're buying a house because of the tax thing.
Oh, okay. Do you want to buy like, do you want to go like, just get the one that's the least expensive, or do you want to have like a really nice one? What's the
No, I'm
plan
actually
there?
buying it from a family friend's. It's nice. It's pretty big. It's like 3 bedrooms, three, four. Actually, I think it's 4 bedrooms. It's like basically on the beach. It's nice. You have to live there like for the act. I mean, I'm sure there's ways you can like finesse it, but I don't want to mess with I'm already saving so much money. The risk like millions of dollars in tax savings makes no sense. You're supposed to live in it. So like I want to live in, because Puerto Rico itself isn't the best spot. Like I wouldn't, if I were to choose somewhere to live, I don't think I would choose Puerto Rico. But with like the taxes and everything, it makes sense for now as I'm younger and can travel and stuff. So yeah, I got a nicer house just because I have to live in it. I want Puerto Rico to be like more enjoyable.
Interesting. Can I ask you, like, you obviously don't have to say the number for the
Yeah.
house, but like, how expensive are the houses there?
Um, it depends. Like in San Juan, like the main like area where more Americans are living, it's also the main like capital city. They're like depend like 1 million to like four like well I mean obviously my dad's boss had like a $20 million house like it can get high but it's like California, it's expensive like million to 20 million, but on average it's like 1 to 2 3 million.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So obviously you pay tax in Puerto Rico. How much time in the year do you have to be there physically in person?
So you have to be there 183 days, but you get 50 or 30 days of international travel, business travel. So it's like basically 5 months. You have to be there. The rest you can, as long as you're traveling internationally for business for 30 days, you're good.
Easy. So you're like the 3 months end of the year you're locked in, and then the other 2 months you do
Yeah, I just
whenever
like
it
try
fits.
and get in my days at some. I think I usually end up staying longer though. Like last year, I stayed like 7 months. The year before, I stayed 7 months. And there's also a rule where like you can count days from the years before. So this year, technically, I only have to be in Puerto Rico like 90 days, but I'll be there longer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. What would you say, like, from your journey so far and everything you've done, what would you say is like the number one takeaway you've had?
Um, Takeaway personally or like for other people, like for like insight into like because there's always like younger entrepreneurs. I don't know who your audience is, but like that like ask like, oh, like what do you think major success? Like how do I become successful? Like what do I need to do? Are you asking more about like that or me personally?
You personally.
Okay. Um, Wait, repeat the question again.
Of course, bro. All good. So, for you personally, what would you say was like the number one takeaway you've had from the
I want
couple of
to
years
go.
that you've been
Okay,
running your
okay.
business for?
Um, I think number one takeaway is probably I think at first I thought I really cared about the money, but now I think I realized that it's more for the game, which can be like I realize now I don't have as much motivation. Like before, I had so much motivation. Like I'd wake up and just like be not excited. I just like knew I had to get to work. There'd be no such thing as like snoozing on the alarm. I'd be like focused, locked in. Like I have to make this work. I had so much motivation. Like, but now I realized I actually been working with my like with Ibrahim, the hypnosis
I
guy,
saw that on your story, yeah.
to like try and get my motivation back because I feel like I need like more motivation. But yeah, I feel like back then I had so much drive. Now, not as much because it doesn't matter as much to me for some like the money. I don't need to prove anything anymore to my dad. I don't have the need for the money as I can do most everything that I want. But there is something to that motivate. Like it is very it feels good when you're like you wake up and you're just like so excited to get your work done. Like you work all day long, you give it your all, and then you go to sleep. Like Hormozy always talks about, like you go to sleep feeling that you did everything you could, exhausted because you just went all out that day. Um, there is something to that. It actually like I like the feeling of that, and I think it's enjoyable. But yeah, I think my biggest learning is you have to find that motivation from something. And I think I'm still searching for like the next step, like what is like the new motivation and how can I get back to that? Because it is really important. I think it really like drove my success. Like if you don't have that motivation, it's much harder to keep pushing. Um, and obviously that all comes down to like what you actually want. So like maybe I don't want to get to 1 billion, but I'm just like telling myself I do. And so yeah, I think it just depends. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Did the hypnosis thing actually help?
It actually helped for my health condition. Like I noticed my headaches got way better because we have like a custom like 15-minute hypnosis, like basically like telling my brain uh, that my body heals itself, that I'm in perfect health, and you're basically just like tricking your brain to like I don't get headaches anymore. I like all my exercises, I can do them effortlessly. I can do like 6, 7 reps now versus before it was like 3 to 4. So we just got like hyper specific on my situation and created a complete custom hypnosis for that. And that actually worked. Business wise though, not as much. Just because we've had so much come up. Like the business thing was like, basically my goal this year was to get to 100 million revenue, and I didn't believe it was I didn't fully believe it was possible. So he was trying to like get that belief back in my head that it was like 100% possible, that I knew I was going to do it and that I was going to do it. And that hasn't really worked because tariffs came. There's just so many things that are just like, that didn't really work. But the health one for sure. I'm still working on the business side.
Interesting. Well, I mean, in your specific situation personally, how do you go about creating that new belief? Like, you want to get to 100 million. How did you create the belief of being able to get to the 30 million rev, which you're at right now, or last year?
I just I just set a bigger goal. Like last year, our goal was to do like 45 million. I mean, it fell short at like 30 million. But because I was like trying to do everything I can to get to that 45 million, I think we just kind of like fell short at that 30 million, which was still good, and I'm still happy with it. But yeah, I think is just like setting a bigger goal. Obviously, it was easy. Like it's not like getting to 100 million, I think is much harder than getting to from like, because we were already at like 10 million before. Like getting to 30 was just like increasing ad spends, really just getting better at Facebook ads. And now it's like we're good at Facebook ads. Can we get even better, and can we get a new product? And the new product is hard. Like the new product's the hardest thing. Like product and ecom is the hardest thing, I think, to find like product market fit and something that can properly scale like to big numbers.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, we're emphasizing a lot, or you're emphasizing a lot on the importance of learning, right? Especially in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
Did you ever have a mentor, or do you currently have one?
A bunch, yeah. Uh, so I've had, I mean, I always took courses. I consider that kind of a mentor, like Ty Lopez, I consider a mentor. But I've never like talked to Ty personally. I kind of look at like books, podcasts, YouTube as mentors. As long as like 'cause Ty Lopez, I used to consume his content like all the. I know a lot of people hate on Ty Lopez, but I actually think he's really smart and has like very insightful things. I think I learned a lot from him specifically. If it wasn't for his dropshipping course, like that actually was like, it wasn't even him though. He didn't even hire, it was just some random guy from like Nigeria who seemed like, he didn't seem like the most intelligent person, but he was making like millions of dollars with dropshipping. And I was just like, okay, like if this guy can do it, I can do it. And like his strategy was literally, he's like, yeah, I just go on ad spies and I just like basically copy that. Like I'd literally just copy. And all of it, he literally would rip off their ad. He would take their ad, he would take the landing page, and then just test the product because it's so simple. It takes like an hour to set up. Like you just set up a quick Shopify store, steal their ad, run it, and then once you see it works, then you change and do everything on your own, obviously, so you don't get sued. But that was like that was a mentor. I have a mentor now. His name's like Casey. Casey Holiday. He started Kalo Rings, sold it for like 100 million plus. And so I just keep trying to like level up my mentors, I guess. And that actually is like proper, not in person, but like calls, like Zoom calls. I usually talk to him like once or twice a month. That's been helpful. I also have like Davey Fogarty, who started the Hoodie, hundreds of millions of dollars. I think they're like 850 million revenue lifetime, Australian dollars though.
So
And
it's like
so
four hundred
it's
million
only 500
normal.
million. I talk to him occasionally. I've had like a few calls, not like crazy, but he has like a mentorship program where I was in, not anymore. There's like Mentor Pass. Sometimes I'll just schedule calls with people in like specific industries, whether it be like finance, anything I need help on. But yeah, anytime I like don't know an answer to something, I just go straight to mentor, community, or something, and just trying to find that answer.
That makes sense. Did you pay for all of those mentorships or
Yeah,
did
it's
you?
always paid. I've never had like a free, other than my dad, I guess, is like the only free mentor. But yeah, it's always paid. I feel like you have to pay to move faster.
Mhm.
But that's one of the shortcuts I think is just like being willing, like once you start making money, to keep reinvesting back into education, mentors, and like different ways you can. I mean, obviously you can take it too far and then have like no cash flow to scale your business, but like intelligently investing and like just like trying to skip, uh, trying to like just like push time forward. Like it's like if you were going to make the mistake anyways, but you talked to the mentor and he was like, nah, don't do that. You basically just like saved like 10 hours. And so like saving time that way is definitely a way to like move faster in business.
Mhm. How do you go about finding the right mentor, the one that's actually able to help you?
Um, I feel like that's one skill I developed where I was just like very good at recognizing who's legit and who's not. And I feel like some people just like miss that. Like I see with like friends that get into business and they're like, "Oh, have you seen this guy? It's like some dropship scammer." I'm like, "Bro, why are you listening to this guy?" Like you can, I don't know. I feel like I can just tell people very well if they're legit or not. Like I just happen to just like I was watching Hormozy when he had like 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and I was like, "Damn." Like I didn't look at the subscribers as like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything because he has 1,000 subscribers. I was like, oh, this guy like actually is very insightful. Like I'm learning a ton, so I just kept listening. And now he's like massive. I was like 4 million subscribers, but I just feel like I recognize people that are more legit versus the like the sketchier course. I think the only way you can tell is like if they have a course. Like usually it's like questionable. Depends on the course though. Like if it's like a drop shipping course, usually it's like, all right, if you don't have a brand that's doing well and you're selling a drop shipping course, it's more just seeing their results, I guess. Like if they have crazy results and they're selling a course, like if it's like Iman, like his courses, he makes most of his money from courses, but it's like his courses are actually quite good. They're not, I tried one course and it was like pretty insightful. So it just like depends on it's, I don't know how I don't know the exact answer, but you can kind of tell. Like if it's like
It's a gut
dropship
feeling,
guy, he
right?
doesn't want to say his like brand. He wants to like keep it private, and he's like
Mm.
flexing numbers that like aren't even that impressive, or like or just like yeah, you can just like I don't know. It is a feeling, I think.
Yeah, I get that. No, I think I have developed that as well because I worked with a lot of the wrong people in the past.
Yeah,
And now it's a very funny thing. I know what you mean. It's hard to describe, but it's
yeah,
like a gut feeling. Now when I look at someone, I can immediately tell if they're like a bit
yeah,
more like, I don't know about that, or if they're actually legit because it's kind of, it's about the energy that they put out as well, I feel
yeah,
like. Like you can feel it when someone's lying.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
that's interesting. Okay. I have one more question for you, bro, and then I
Yeah.
think it's a good way to round it up. If you could, if you look at your journey so far and everything you've done over the last few years, is there anything that you would change about what you did, or would you leave everything the same?
Um, I mean, yeah, like looking back, obviously I do things differently, but I'm pretty happy with how it went. I don't know if I would change that much. I would have just, I think I would have just gotten more. I probably could be where I could have skipped a year by just just figuring out because our main issue was always cash flow. Like I was like, this business is scaling. I just don't have enough money to buy inventory to keep scaling it. So I probably would have actually, this is not good advice for most people because you can go very badly, but I would have probably taken on like loans to just skip a year because I probably could have done 30 million, not last year, but the year before if I just like had the inventory, because it was so profitable. And so I think I would just take, and also ads were cheaper back then. It's just like I would have tried to maybe go a little faster, but we went fast enough. I don't think it's like that. I would have just saved 1 year maybe.
That makes
Yeah,
sense, bro. That
yeah,
makes sense. I feel like it was a very insightful episode. I appreciate you for coming on and taking the time.
yeah.
And
Thanks for having me, bro.
sure, we'll definitely run it back at some point.
For sure.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
See you, bro.